Hello everyone, today I'm showing you how to create the B page of the farmer's market. If you didn't have a look at the video of A side of the farmer's market page, go back and have a look at that first. So I'm going to be working on creating this page, which as you will see is very distressed. It has been faded with some white. It has some text printed on there, it has some numbers printed on there, and it has flowers printed on there. So that is what we're aiming for today. My paper is very bright, so I am putting down some white over the top of it. So what I'm using is Matisse titanium white acrylic paint. This is an artist quality one, but you could use any quality white acrylic paint, and it's really a simple process of just getting some paint on a piece of rag and literally just rubbing it across the page. As you do that, you will find that you are able to lighten the page and give it a bit of an aged look. On top of this, we will stamp later. And make sure you keep moving it around. Because it's acrylic paint, it dries really quickly. Just keep applying it to the edges. Should be lighter than the central area. I must apologize today for the state of my hands. I mean, you are used to me having artist hands, but today they are appalling because I made a rookie error when I was trying to fix my printer. What happened was my printer had decided to stop working and was telling me that it needed servicing. Now, if you're like me and always trying to save money, you cannot put it in to get serviced. What had happened was the waste ink counter had stopped counting. So all printers have this silly design where there's a printing limit on it. With mine, which is an Epson, and it's a fabulous printer, it does have this waste counting piece in the machine, and it's set for a certain number, and once it's reached that number it will stop and tell you that you need to get it serviced and replace the ink sponges that are in the ink waste compartment. I did not want to do that because one, it's impossible to get anyone to service a printer anymore. They just tell you to go and buy a new one. And two, it is, even if I could get it serviced somewhere, it would be expensive. So I'm trying to not do that. And so I thought I'll be clever. I'll look it up on YouTube, because what can't you find on YouTube? Everything can be found on YouTube. And I did find it on YouTube on how to do it. But in my rush and in the process of repairing it and fixing it and cleaning the sponges, because you don't actually have to go and buy some more, you can wash them out yourself and then just reset the counter, which is what I did. Only when I was washing them out, I forgot to put some gloves on, so silly me. I have got really badly stained hands. My nails look appalling, not that they don't normally anyway, but they're looking way worse. And so it's all a bit of a shambles. So that is why, if you're going, oh my God, look at her nails, look at her hand, she's so dirty, It is because they are ingrained with black ink. Right, so we're getting the general gist. I still think this is too bright, so I am going to get some white across here more. Pick up a bit more here. I'm just smoothing it out in the lid. Just bring that across the page a bit. Just want to dull it down a bit because it is quite bright, my gingham check that I found in my stash. Now, what I'm trying to do, of course, if you haven't watched the very first video, is I created a knockoff kit. Well, some people like to call it a counterfeit kit. Some people like to call it a copycat kit. But the kit I was trying to knock off or copy was a kit that has only recently just been released by Simple Stories. An absolute beautiful kit and collection, which is called Simply Vintage Berry Fields. And everyone is in love with this collection, and if I had the money, I would not be copying it, I would be purchasing it because it is beautiful. But my circumstances at the moment are different, and at this point in time I'm not able to purchase the collection, so I've done what I often will do when I don't have a lot of cash to spare, and I will try and create my own collection of papers and embellishments which are similar, not the same but similar. So what I'm doing. So this actually has bingo stamps on it. I don't think I have any bingo stamps, but I'm going to find something else that's numbers that will work for us. Okay, before I put those numbers in, you will see that there is some text on there as well, which is done in a yellow. So I'm going to use this stamp, which is a Uniquely Creative stamp. It will do the job nicely. One of the good things about working with gingham is that it has nice straight lines, so it's easy to line up. All right, now I'm using, even though it says Sea Brights, it's not, it's a Stampin' Up! Bumblebee Yellow to print with first. Great, and when I look at this, yes, it is not stamped everywhere, so we're actually going to take it off the block. We are just going to use our hands because we don't want just rectangular blocks of text. We want text in some places and not in others. That's better, perfect in fact. Just looking at the sheet again, it's got a bit over here. I'll block that one up there. And we're going to go parts of it here, not all of it. Oh, look at that nice texture happening with our white acrylic paint, and then our stamps. It's really fun playing around doing this. It goes right through here. I'm just going to make sure we've got some print running right through. Then we'll add some numbers in do actually. That will do us nicely. Pop this away. Alright, let's just, can you see that? Hopefully you can see it. It's quite light. Alright, and now we're going to put in some numbers. Now I do not have a bingo card stamp, so we are going to use these, which are really, really old, and as you can see are just red rubber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a stamp block, this big one here. And I'm just going to put the numbers haphazardly on there and we will start with that. So this has got this very sticky mat applied to it, which means I can use these straight rubber straight on there and not have to worry about having foam or anything like that. And I'm not going to worry about whether they are in order or anything. I'm just going to put random numbers on. Wherever they fit, they fit. Because we're just trying for the mood and feel. We're not actually trying to create. I'll put number 1 down there. We're not trying to create the actual exact paper here. We're just having fun coming up with something that is similar, not the same, just similar. What have I got here? Number 9, which is, oh, hang on, I think that's number 2. Turn it around. Yes, it is. Tricked me. I thought it was a 5. I'm assuming that we don't actually have, I think the 6 and the 9 must be the same. Like that. And we're going to put number 5 in here. And a 0 there. Okay, there we go. There's my numbers. Hopefully they're not too crooked. I'm just going to test this on a piece of paper to see if we think it's too dark. Well, we're just trying to go for mood and feel, so hopefully it will work. Now I'm thinking that because it's sort of a distressed look to it, that I'm not going to go too heavy with the ink. We'll see what happens. Alright, so on the original it has numbers in this region. Ooh, that's okay, it's pretty light. Now we just need a couple to come across the middle here as well. So I'm just going to ink up that, bring that down a bit, and get some numbers through there. That will do nicely, that looks quite good. Now there's no numbers in that corner on the actual paper, but there is numbers down here. And for some reason, I don't know why this is, they turn them and they're going that way. I don't know about that. I don't really like it that way. I don't want it that way. I think I'm going to do my own thing and keep the numbers running this way. Unless they were trying to use, I don't know why. No, I don't like it. I'm going this way. See, that's one of the joys of doing your own thing. So if you don't really like what they've done, you can change it up and create your own design. So I'm going in like this. Okay, and now I'm going to make it come a bit wider across the page here. So I'm changing up what they had, which is fine. I can do whatever I like. It is my design. I'm bringing the numbers out quite wide compared to what they had. And I might just do a second there. Fill that space a bit with some blue. There we go. Just I'm making a mess. Got ink happening everywhere. Whoops. Okay. I don't think there's any over this corner. There's sort of some lines, which is more like ledger lines with blue. Don't know what to do about that. Shall we just add some numbers in faintly, like a second press? Yeah, let's do that. That'll do. I'm happy enough with that. What I'm thinking is for the leaves and flowers, for the leaves, I'm going to use this stencil. I'm going to go with pine needle, Oxide. And then for the little white flowers, which unfortunately I don't have a little white flower stamp, otherwise I would use that. But I'm thinking I'm going to use this homemade stamp. So you can see it's just made from your fun foam. And once again, I will use one of my sticky blocks to stick it on, like so. And then we should be able to stamp that onto there. And I'm thinking that my best white ink I have is the Stays On Opaque White. So my flowers are going to be bigger. It doesn't matter. We're just after mood and feel. Definitely if you've got a smaller stamp of some kind, I would use that. I thought I had a stencil to use, but I can't find it. So I'm just going to go with this. Homemade, cheap, easy. So we need to bring it across this way a bit. Now at this point I think we need to change brushes. So I think I showed you these a couple of videos ago. They are gorgeous little delicate brushes for applying ink. Really good when you just want to get some individual bits in. See how I can just put a few bits in and not the whole thing. So we need some leaves up here. A little bit on this side, and we're nearly done, I feel, with the leaves. Okay. I think that will do. So that's turned out quite sweet. You can see the translucent white flowers on there. You could, if you wanted to, go back over them with a paint pen, a white paint pen, to get a better coverage of ink if you don't want them so translucent. I don't mind it. We were going for a distressed sort of look anyway, so it's quite sweet. The other thing, though, that this layout, this paper has, is it has a green dot in the center of each of these. Okay, so I promised that I would show you my layouts that I've created using both the A and B side of my knockoff farmers market page. So here you can see, let's just move that one out of the way. Here you can see the finished layout. This is the A side that I did. The photos are my grandson playing on the tractor on my dad's property. Turned out quite well. Added a few embellishments. These were stamped ones. Stamped a couple of little bees in here just to add a bit of interest to it. And the actual vintage collection does have bees as a motif. I included a few little stamped quotes as well, including this big one which says today. Then with the B-side paper, I made a layout about my recent pickling endeavour. So I tried to make some McDonald's pickles, sliced pickles for burgers, and took some photos because I was so thrilled with the result. We've just started eating them, which is probably a little bit early because I only made them in February. Anyway, they are delicious, and this B-side paper I made I was really thrilled with. It turned out really well, and so I have once again tried to recreate and get that whole mood and feel of the farmers market paper. I also made some of these little flowers in the original collection. There is strawberry flowers, and I had recently, in the last couple of months, not sure how long ago it was, I bought the Tim Holtz brushstrokes flowers die cutting set, and I had a go doing that. So it's a lovely set. There's different flowers. I've only used 2 of them from the set. I did use all the different foliage elements though, but you build it up in layers. It's quite detailed. There's like 3 layers for each leaf, for each flower. But I really love it. It worked well. It's turned out well. The flowers are very cute and just add a little bit of country to it, I feel. Of course, I included a doily, which is also in the original collection. And I also cut a doily out of some green just to make it pop a little bit more. That is from Creative Memories Punch. They've got a doily punch, which I think is still available. Quite useful. I always try and buy tools that, you know, I'm going to get a lot of use from. So a doily punch one is definitely something I'm going to use a lot. These little Tim Holtz flowers, beautiful. We'll be using those, making them in all different colours for other layouts. So there we go, 2 layouts done with my knockoff kit for the Berry Fields collection. Hope you enjoyed watching.